Let's talk about one of my favorite cars of all time, named after a dangerous snake, so dangerous which can even kill the cobra. Ladies and gentlemen, we need to talk about the Dodge Viper. In the late 80s, Chrysler was doing fine, financially speaking. They were famous for minivans, trucks, and K-platform cars. So it was not a brand which would make the car guys excited. But inside the company, there were a few madmen, one of them specifically Bob Lutz, which started asking, what if we make a car which feels raw, insane, and make people actually feel something? So in 1988, during an internal meeting in Chrysler, he said, what if we build a modern day Shelby Cobra? Big engine, manual transmission, no tech, just raw power. And that one question sparked a project called Copperhead, Chrysler's internal code name for what would later become Viper. And guess who they brought in to consult? Carroll Shelby himself, the man behind the original Cobra. He said, do it, but just don't wimp it out. And Chrysler didn't just talk about it, they actually started building it. Under the direction of Roy Schoberg, the father of the Viper. In 1991, Dodge showed the Viper RT10 at the Indy 500 with Carroll Shelby himself driving the pace car, and the crowd went nuts. By 1992, it went on sale. No roof, no windows, just side pipes, a 6-speed manual which could bite every competition and also sometimes the drivers. The Viper was unlike anything else on the market. The Corvette was refined, the Mustang was tamed, the Ferrari 348 was complicated, but the Viper, it was raw. It didn't care if you were ready or not. And that's exactly why people loved it. And they bought it. A lot of them. And by a lot of them, I actually mean a lot of them. Because by the time Lee Iacocca himself introduced the Dodge Viper for the first time in a press conference, one of the people who actually saw the concept ordered the first 50 production Dodge Vipers, and he was willing to pay even prices above $100,000 for each and single one of them. Roy Schoberg, Bob Lutz, Lee Iacocca, Carroll Shelby, they didn't want to make a polished car. They wanted to make something that feels insane, hard to drive. You had to sweat in the car as you were fighting the steering wheel in the races or in the streets. And that philosophy worked for Dodge Viper. The first generation Viper was followed by even crazier versions. The GTS Coupe in 1996, the ACR track weapon, the SRT10 with even more power, and finally the Gen 5, which bowed out in 2017. With 645 horsepower and a Nürburgring record. But even as it evolved, the Viper always stuck to its roots. Front engine, rear wheel drive, manual transmission, scary, ready to bite everyone on its way. The Viper wasn't a product of a market study. It was built because a few madmen believed that car enthusiasts deserved something wild.